You know, with me experiencing being a transformation coach, I've discovered that people really want to be better. And a lot of times people are not shown the way, but they're thrown into the way.
Don't push me away, don't throw me away. I've got some things I need to say.
If you are a leader of any sorts, we have to meet people right there, right where they are. That's the only way we'll be able to really push for effective change. We really want to be better, and we got to help each other get there, y'all, because the world needs to see it.
Welcome to another episode of Ray Bridging Humans. It's the place where the people get to hear you and the world get to see it. Man, y'all, listen, I can't even, we literally had a conversation before the conversation started. I'm so excited to have my little brother, my friend. It's just so much I can say about this young man. I've watched him grow. I've watched him be here, y'all, but I'm so happy that he is here. I'm gonna introduce him in a second, but welcome everybody to the show today. I'm so happy that y'all came back. I appreciate y'all. If you haven't, please share and subscribe to what's going on around here. Today, I just want to have a conversation with my little brother, Xavier Woods. Y'all might know him as DJ Woods. I know him as Xavier. You know, we've been rocking for a long time, man. And we was just having a conversation before I turned the system on, literally in real time, man, about how, when you rock with somebody, and it don't matter how long, how much time has gone by, man, when we see each other, it's gonna hit, man. So I appreciate him so much for coming and gracing the stage of Ray Bridging Humans. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm always good. You know, I'm always good like grandma's cooking, man.
Yeah, yeah, bro. I appreciate you for coming, man. And we've already got into the conversation, but just to start, we're gonna talk about fatherhood today. Of course, y'all know at the shop every day, we come across a lot of guys, a lot of men who come in the shop, and it's really a balance. It's a balance to deal with fatherhood, have a family, a wife, kids, have a family, as well as providing a lifestyle for them. And it's always a lot with that, with balancing that out. And so I just wanted to have a conversation with my little brother today. If you can, man, I like to have my guests just kind of share your story, just a little bit of who you are. Let the people know who you are. Whoever don't know who you are, let them know what you do. I'm gonna let him tell it, and before I tell it, but I'm gonna let him tell it, man. Just tell people what you do, man.
I go by Book J Woods, the movie.
Yeah.
I'm a DJ, father first, DJ, executive producer. I have 46 records where I work with different artists, put different artists together. Mostly Memphis artists. I deal with a lot of Memphis producers. I got a clothing company. I've had a catering company before. Kind of like a serial entrepreneur. I got a regular job too. So this conversation about balances is gonna hit home because my life is always happened to be a balance and a revolving door.
Yeah, man, and just quality. I got the title of the episode, y'all. Quality time versus the grind, because it's a real thing, man. To be able to, it's so much pressure in spending time doing the work of providing for a household, and there's so much pressure in that. And I know a lot of time, you ladies who's watching as men, your men, your brothers, your uncles, y'all, and I know y'all, I'm not saying y'all don't work, but just the pressure of being head of household, the pressure of having to navigate, showing up, getting all the money that you need to get for the household, as well as spending time watching the kids grow up, go to the basketball games, go to the ballet recitals, do all those things. So we just want to have a conversation about that today, man. And I asked my little brother to come today because, y'all, he do so much. I see him, and I had a transparent conversation with him before I turned the camera on, and I just told him, I'm learning so much about the space of putting something out on a weekly basis, or putting something out for people to consume, and you don't know how they're gonna respond, and the amount of bravery that it takes to do that, man. He's been doing that for a number of years, and I ain't gonna lie, bro, I've watched you do that, and I ain't gonna say I took it for granted, but I just thought, okay, dang, bro, that's just commonplace, but to do that consistently, bro, like what is that like before we even get into the conversation, bro?
I would say when I first started making music, it taught me that I was terrible at promoting. So I'm one of those people where if I'm doing something, I need to be the best me at doing it. So being able to put out content and be able to create content, I'm always thinking of content.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking of what's next to post. And I know it might seem hard for people to give up a piece of themselves, because I do it all the time and I don't even think about it. I think because I be more so in the space of I'm doing it for me and not nobody else.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm not worried about the negative, because I know
Yeah.
it's gonna be negative backlash between stuff, but as long as I'm doing it for me and I'm sticking to my morals, then I don't really be worried about what people gonna think or what people gonna say, because a lot of times we'll get in our head and we'll let people talk us out of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm real big on if God told me to do it,
Yeah.
I don't even ask nobody else about it or get anybody else approval. I don't even run it by people, I just do it. And I think that's what helps me. I just do it.
Bro, that's the real, and that's the drive, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I've learned just that, like the passion behind what I'm doing and the purpose behind it has to be in stone. You gotta really do this, and I see why people start podcasts and they fall off because they're just not prepared for it, and that's no shade to anybody who started, but it takes a level of discipline, it takes a level of consistency, and most importantly, purpose. Commitment. Like you gotta commit to this thing.
Time.
And time, right. So much time. So yeah, and just speaking to that though, I wanna get to the core of Xavier and who you are. And I always ask my guests this question, man, because it's important. It's how you show up, and outside of anything you own, outside of your music, outside of your nice car, outside of your clothes, outside of all of those things, who are you as a person, man?
I can give an example. So when I go home from this podcast and I walk in my house, my children will run up to me, hug me, and play with me and scream and be all over me. So that's the example of who I am. I'm the foundation for my family. So yeah, I'm the foundation. I'm the backbone. So and I didn't really understand that until I had children of my own, where they face light up when I come in the room. And I can't even really explain it. And that's why I show up. And I'm the foundation.
and man, like I don't even know what that piece of love is, but I can only imagine, for you to walk in the door and some little people see you, and it's like, dang, like no matter what you've gone through in a day.
Well, you do know what that feels like, because I know the backstory.
Get me together.
You mentor children, and you have nephews and nieces and cousins that you really home in and became a father figure to. So I know that you've been in rooms where you walked in and their face lit up, and and I'll give them a little bit of backstory between us.
Okay, come on, let's go. Let's do it.
You started cutting my hair when I first started going to the University of Memphis. I randomly walked into a barbershop.
I remember that day.
And I said, I'm looking for the master barber.
I remember that day.
I didn't even know what that meant, but it sounded good. And he said, hey, I'll cut your hair. And
wow.
And that's how I just randomly went into a barbershop and I met my big brother. And over the years, those get my haircut turned into Raymond sewing into me. And
wow.
we would have conversations like this, and while I was getting my haircut, and we would probably talk too long because my haircuts took a second. But we would talk through them, and just having people like you in my life. I grew up without my father being a father figure in my life. He was more like a cousin or somebody that I knew of, but he never stepped up and became that father figure. So having people that come in your life and kind of fill that void, it does help. And
man, I'm sitting here thinking about your story, man. I watched you go through a lot of that. I remember you had your dad come to the shop one day, and that was a big deal. That was a big deal. It was around the wedding time, man. I remember, man. And yeah, I have so much love and admiration for this man that's sitting next to me, man. And I look at him like a little brother. Like he reminded me of I remember him growing up, watching him. Just even he was an adult, man. He was in college, but you know, I saw you like I saw my nephew. You know what I'm saying? And so watch him go through life, do life, have lived experiences, man. Like, dude, you overcame. You constantly conquered. You dealt with the hand that was given to you, man. So I appreciate those words, man. I really do, bro.
Even when you saw me about my dad, and I was going through something with that because my father needed me at the time, and when I was growing up, I needed him, and he wasn't there.
Man.
And I had to make it right with God, and actually, it's like, since he's gotten older, he's 67, 68 now, I've become the father figure, and I've become the person that he needs. So I have to be there for somebody that wasn't there for me.
Man, bro. Man.
So I brought him to the barbershop and got his haircut because he went like 2 years without a haircut. It was bad, but
I remember that.
But I did it, and after I did it, I really went through it because I'm like, God, what are you doing with me? Like, what are you trying to tell me? But yeah, like, just to break that down, yeah.
Yeah, man. And that was a lot during those times, man, because I can literally see when you brought up, I can remember, bro, you was just like, dang, I can't believe this man here. He hear this man in this building, man. But I watching you go through that and see how you just your model of fatherhood now, you know, not having what you needed, because I didn't have what I needed, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have what I needed growing up. And, you know, I had uncles, you know what I'm saying? I've told different places I've spoken, I've always talked about how I just had to build a dad, you know what I'm saying? And now, like, as I've gotten to a fully grown adult, man, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. Like, the importance of that foundation that you just talked about, man, that's so important, man. There's a hole in my soul that'll never go away, but just the respect I have for men I look up to, you know what I'm saying, for older guys, even younger guys I look up to. I have an affinity to you know, really look up to and respect men who are with their families, man, and take care of them, bro. That's a respect, man, I can't even describe, man.
I won't you gotta give yourself the benefit of the doubt, because you said that you got a hole in your soul that'll never go away, but if you allow yourself to properly heal and be through with stuff, I think as black people, we hold on to stuff, and we do bring up stuff 10, 20 years ago. I know it's easy to do, but once you truly heal and you truly get over, I think you're gonna heal.
and I'm gonna put a little bit of context to that, because like even now, like, I have a stepfather, love him, and he shows up. He shows up for me, and that place where I never got the opportunity to meet my father, because he was dead by the time I was 6 months old, you know. Right. And so, but I hear you, and I appreciate you telling me that, man. And it's a journey. It's a journey, and I'm doing it, man. And I just appreciate you for even speaking into me in those words, man. And speaking of fatherhood, bro, when you think about everything we're talking about and the show up, you know what I'm saying, with the demand of work and the demand of fatherhood, like how do you know what to give attention to and how to pull back, how to give a little more here and there, like how do you manage that, man?
I have a system where I balance everything and I don't allow myself to overdo it. So I'll DJ quite often, but I won't DJ every day.
Okay.
It might be every Saturday type of thing. Sundays, family time. If you structure yourself to only do stuff at certain times, then you're gonna always have balance.
Yeah, one, and I can imagine like just what that looks like as far as like the structure is. You know, you said you only DJ certain days, you want to do that certain days, but what is it from your opinion? With your opinion, what is it that will get lost in trying to provide a lifestyle, man?
It's gonna go back to your morals, because it's gonna be people that's gonna ask you to do stuff that gonna go against them. But as long as you have a solid foundation on what you want to do, then it's always gonna kind of work out for you. Like for instance, years ago, I got offered to be a strip club DJ. So
wow, I didn't know that, man.
So that was around the time that I at first had my daughter, and I was looking to get married, and my morals said, "Oh, you can go to the strip club every here and now and then," but my morals said, "You can't be out 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
You can't live in a strip club like that. It's not even enough money for you.
Yeah.
No matter how big you want to build your name over there. I know you get records that make girls dance, but my morals just don't bring me to do stuff that doesn't balance out my life."
Gotcha. I got you, man. And that's that core and that foundation. And I know you've always had that foundation with your relationship with the Father. You know what I'm saying? You always had that foundation. So I definitely understand that. And even when it comes down to your career, thinking about advancing when you've had opportunities to have you had opportunities where you could advance and move higher, but you had to like really like kind of weigh out, okay, it's just gonna take me away from my family or what? Like how have you been able to navigate that, man?
Of course, I don't move. So a lot of people in my industry, they move for jobs and opportunities. So I'm more of a sit to wait and see what happens. Like, so for instance, I work in retail. So I worked in the store, I moved up, became a manager. I moved back down strategically because you can make more money.
Yeah.
and
Wow.
then being a supervisor. Then I would have never thought COVID could happen and they offered work from home jobs. I didn't have to move. Now, I got another promotion where I did real good working from home. Now I'm back out in the field locally in Memphis. So there's ways around not giving up yourself and not giving up your time for a job. And I sacrifice a lot for a job, but I'm a sacrifice for my family and sacrifice for myself, because if I run myself into the ground for a job, then something happened to me, I have a heart attack, they're gonna replace me the next day.
Yeah, man.
So I'm real big on making sure, I'm gonna apply myself while I'm there, but I'm not gonna overly do it. I think some people try to overly do it. Like, for instance, I had a manager, he said that he moved 8 hours away from his family to take a promotion. That was wild for me. That was crazy for me.
It's crazy, bro.
But he got to the next level. So, I mean, it might not be in his morals to be there, and show up.
Right.
So, but that was just wild to me. And that's just a crazy example.
Wow. And you kind of, we're really flowing with the conversation, man, because I kind of want to talk about when you are running on empty. How do you know when it's time to recharge. Because I'm gonna tell you before you answer. I'm gonna tell you, like, I know when I'm running because I'm such an extrovert. I know you're an extrovert, but when I'm running on empty, I have if when I go to sleep at night, wake up the next morning, I can feel it. It's so weird. I can feel it, man. And so I really have to go kind of step away from what I'm doing because I love people. I'm around humans all the time, but I have to go and recharge. So how do you know when you're running low?
First, my natural personality is super laid back. I feel
You
like I feel like DJing and being in sales made me a little bit more outgoing, but I'm naturally shy. But
it's so crazy to hear him say that, y'all.
Because if you see me DJing or hear me on the record, I'm loud and I'm energetic and I'm the most people person you ever meet, but I'm naturally laid back.
Yeah.
But balance. Take breaks. I wouldn't allow myself to be burnt out because I would take a break every month.
Okay.
2 or 3 days where I do completely nothing.
That's
but
good.
what I want to do. So, but I wouldn't do anything for a job at all.
Yeah.
2 or 3 days out the month. A lot of people take their vacation time or personal time and take it all at the beginning of the year. I took all of my vacation time and divided it by 3.
Wow.
3 days.
Dang. Okay.
So I would take a vacation every month.
Every month. Wow. Okay.
And not just go anywhere. I needed time for myself to recharge because I go 300 miles per hour.
Yeah.
When I'm locked in, I go harder than anybody.
Yeah.
So when you go that hard, everybody needs breaks. Everybody needs breaks. So take off. If you can get a day, or 2, 3 days, if you can get a day where you don't do anything, it's gonna help you recharge.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna tell you, you got me thinking, man, because all of my Saturday clients, they pretty much know it's gonna be one Saturday out the month that Ryman ain't gonna be here, you know. But I got my schedule so structured. I'm a lot like you. I will take off one weekend a month. If it's not a Friday, it's a Saturday. Mainly Saturdays. But it's needed. It's needed, and you have to be so self-aware that you feel like, okay, because everybody don't understand the grind, bro. Like for real. Like when you passionate about what you're doing, you gonna go 300 miles per hour, bro. You gonna do it. You know?
And I'm not saying that I don't experience burnout. I just don't experience burnout from breaks. But
Gotcha.
I know we talk. In my corporate life, I am on my 3rd job promotion in 4 years. So
it's awesome, man.
But learning a new position every time is draining. So I noticed a couple weeks ago I was low. Everybody, you can have a low day, but say that you had a low day, get out of it the next day.
Yeah.
Talk through it with somebody. Me and my mom have been, so my mom is just like me. She worked 2 or 3 jobs when we was growing up. It's not that she wasn't there for us. She wasn't the mom that we talked to all the time because she was always working. But now, we've been talking through stuff, and I talked through that with her. I had a low day.
Yeah.
She tell me when she has low days. So, and my mom ain't no emotional. I'm not super emotional either. I let stuff go. But when you having a low day, it's important to find that person. Whether it's your spouse, your family member, a psychiatrist. I know a lot of people hate going to counseling.
You have to, man.
But it's okay to tell people, hey, I'm feeling low.
Yeah.
Then know why you feeling low. Like know what stemming. Don't just feel low for no reason. Like just don't have life just have you feeling low. Have a reason behind it, but talk through it with somebody.
You got to, man. And I know this conversation is so necessary and is needed because you are literally going through the questions before I answer, because like when you are as a man, like, and ladies, I hope y'all are really watching and listening and taking notes, because you have to make the lane conducive for your spouse to be able to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Be able to talk about how he's feeling, because if you're not, you know, we gonna hold it. We'll hold it to kingdom come.
I will say, one of the hardest things in America to do is being a black man.
Man.
Because we getting beat up everywhere.
Man.
It's hard for us to get jobs. It's easy for us to do bad. It's easy for us to step out, cheat, have a lot of kids. It's easy for us to go sell drugs. But once you realize that all of that stuff temporary, anybody selling drugs, it's temporary. You're gonna get locked up.
Yeah.
You're gonna get killed. It's temporary. Having all these kids, temporary. You're gonna be broke.
Yeah.
You're gonna get stuck in the child support system. So it's important to, when you do have a good man, to allow him to express himself and not hold it in. See, as black men, we're gonna hold stuff in.
We're gonna hold it, man.
And we might not let it out until it's too late, or we gonna blow up about something else because we holding this in. But if you do, or when you do, get a good man, make sure you listen to him and make sure you allow him to express his feelings and actually have action behind the listening.
100, man. And bruh, I'm thinking about like those moments when we don't have it together and we're afraid to say we don't have it together. Like what is that? What that feeling is. And a lot of times as men, because you know, if you're the one that shows up and you're the one who got to get it done, like it's almost like a fear behind, or almost like a I've seen guys go through like, man, I just don't even want. I had one of my other clients to tell me, man, like, bro, like if we've ever like gone through, my wife never know it. She'll never know it. I don't ever express it to her. She always just think that we got it all the time. And I was like, bro, like you got to be able to communicate that, man.
I think what showed me, well, I know what showed me, before I've been in my industry for 17 years, but I did take a break and I was jobless for 3 months. And I kind of had no choice to be vulnerable because I was without for the first time.
Man.
I've been working since I was 15. Before then, I was doing construction when I was 12. So to be, at the time, 22, jobless, with a degree. I wasn't married, but my soon-to-be, in a couple of years, wife, she took on all the bills for 3 months.
Wow.
But she did it she came home, house was clean, I applied for jobs, and I had food on the table every day.
Wow.
So she sold into me or showed me something I didn't know she had at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me want to make her my wife.
Yeah.
And I showed her that I'm not just sleeping on the couch all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm filling out these applications. I'm cooking the food. I'm making sure the house clean because I had to give up a piece of me
Yeah.
to even.
Yeah.
So there's different ways, and
Yeah.
I'm not a very gender specific person.
Yeah.
So I'll do all the cooking.
Mm-hmm.
If you helping the children with their homework,
Yeah.
if you washing the clothes, or you might have missed that load, I'ma hop in and take it. I think sometimes we get so, the woman's supposed to do this, the man's supposed to do this.
Yeah.
Every household don't work the same.
No, you absolutely right. And to speak to that point, bro, I think we're in a generation now. I think culturally and socially, like we've kind of evolved away from that. If I could argue, we've evolved away from that. Now, it's certain things that, as a man, you'll do, but like not being very gender specific. Like you may have to have some downtime, like you had downtime, and your wife you have to pick up the slack, and that's just what it is now. Not saying that we're better than them or they're better than us, but it's just got to be like that sometimes, especially in this economy we're in, man.
Yeah, well, I brought that up too because a lot of people bring up the 50-50 thing too, like.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. And it's 100 to me. But you're right. A lot of people bring up the 50-50 thing. Like if I just show up 50% of with what I need, it's cool. You got the other 50. No, I need to be able to give 100%. And in the days I can't give 100%, that needs to be able to be communicated, man. And I think that's one of the biggest pieces, one of the biggest issues we have in being able to not only communicate but comprehend the other side, to comprehend what it is we're feeling, what it is we're going through, man. Because otherwise, bro, we can assume all day.
Right.
We can assume all day. One thing Trina taught me, shout out, what's up, sis? One thing Trina taught me, man, was not so much as balance, but harmony. Because there's gonna be some times like it's got to be like, okay, I know where you at, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, man. But
that's, I think, and I'll speak on that because, and not to be gender specific, but women, they go through more emotions than men. So when I notice that my wife is low, I don't cause her to be lower.
I got you. They listen to you.
Lift her, even when I don't feel like it. Luckily, we don't have low moments at the same time because we're not low people. Like you don't ever want to get into a situation where you just low all the time around each other.
Right.
Luckily, when I'm low, she pull me high. When she low, I pull her high. But I don't ever cause her to go lower.
Okay. And I want to challenge you a little on that, bro, because I feel like women are more expressive with theirs. It just come out with us a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like with guys, because I in the past I would just shut down. You know what I'm saying? I'm low and I'm just gonna shut down. I ain't really gonna tell you what's wrong with me. It's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm good, I'm straight. Versus a woman, she's going to be, this is that is this is what, you know what I'm saying? So,
well, I probably do that too.
Mm-hmm.
But in the shutting down, I'll say, I'm all right. But the way I say it, my wife knows.
She knows you, yeah.
So she'll pry it out of me.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I can do a better job.
Absolutely.
Just being transparent up front.
Absolutely.
But I think, and I'm not perfect. This is probably a flaw. I think that I'm so used to not having somebody there, and to be able to fix. And sometimes it don't even need to be fixed. It just need to be talked through.
Yeah.
That I'll just say, I'm all right. And I'll try to deal with it on my own.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, luckily, she can sense my facial expressions, whole body language be off.
Yeah.
So she'll pull it out of me. But I can't do a better job with it.
I feel that, man, because I think I have a high threshold of trying to deal with shit on my own versus asking for help. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's just the man in me. I don't know if that's just the Leo in me. I don't know if that, but I have a high threshold. But now I try to be so much more aware, bro. And to the guys, bro, because because I think we're conditioned to have to take care of it. Just got to get it done. And so because of that conditioning, it was a time, bro, that I didn't have walls on, because I would go and I'm gonna tell you something. Transparently, we get into the conversation, bro. I just told Law and the guys at the shop recently. I remember this was years ago. Back in before 2020 12, when I had just opened up the first shop, and it was days where I remember this one particular time, bro. I was struggling so bad trying to make sure the bills paid, make sure things are taken care of, bro. I remember one time not having all the money for my phone bill, and I knew I could ask. I knew I could ask anybody for it, bro. One day I came to the shop. I used to keep a change little thing in my drawer at the shop. I came and got all that goddamn change, bro. I came and got all that change, and I dug out of my car to get everything I could get before I asked somebody, bro. And that, looking back on it now, bro, like I shouldn't have done myself like that. The stress and the things I put on myself to make sure that I made sure I had the money. I was gonna find this money to pay my phone bill, bro. And looking back at that time, bro, I know a lot of guys may do that today. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got it. We just don't have it. And instead of saying like, bro, like, hey, bro, I'm kind of low, I'm down or whatnot, we'll go through every length, bro, just to do it, bro. So
Yeah. Then the economy changed and we put so much on our plate where
yes,
then you was the shop owner, so it's a pride to the side type of thing.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
we get so prideful.
Absolutely.
And I've been there before. I had a big fear of failure, so I was causing myself a lot of stress and anxiety by the fear of not knowing how well I'll do. And I remember waking up with my whole body hurting from just anxiety.
Wow.
And I've been very successful. I've made it farther than what I even thought that I could make.
Wow.
But just that fear of not knowing what's next and failure was eating me up. Now, luckily, since I've had my son, I don't deal with that anymore because he honestly wakes up a ball of joy.
Wow.
And like you said, you had with your stepfather.
Yeah.
I'm experiencing stuff that I've never felt with another human.
Wow.
Because he's there. He's hugging me.
Yeah.
He's punching me in the stomach, calling me fat fella.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that type of love before. So
Wow.
I can't bring myself to have that type of anxiety anymore because I'm getting so much love now.
Wow. And bro, that's so interesting for you to say that and to hear that and to know the love now as like my mom married my pops when I think I was like 31, and I'm like thinking about now, bro, the love that he give, like just randomly recently he came to the shop and I'll keep the back fence line trim. I just keep it trimmed because I don't want the people behind the shop and on the side of the shop, they don't take care of nothing. So I have to go out back there and keep it trimmed so the parking lot won't be overstuffed. A couple Saturdays ago, man, he came up there literally from like 8 o'clock that morning and he cleared everything, bro. And he didn't finish till like 1 o'clock. And he asked me for a haircut. And if I try to give him some money, he won't take it. And I'm learning. Because at first I was uncomfortable with that, but because I've never had that. I've never felt that before, man. And so watching him do that and for him to do it, at first I felt uncomfortable. I had to train myself to be able to receive, love like that because I had it, bro. So it's interesting to hear you say that.
And I'm gonna clarify. So I had a father figure in my life. So I had my grandfather, but my grandfather was paralyzed in 1995. So in his later years, so 15 years, he was in a wheelchair. But it's crazy because he was the tough father figure that I needed in my life. Like, that's who I did construction with. It's crazy because Even though he was paralyzed, half of his body, he was still doing construction work.
Wow.
From a wheelchair. He would still cook for the whole church from a wheelchair.
Wow.
300 people barbecuing and grilling from a wheelchair. So having that tough father figure too, because you had it.
Yeah.
He was military.
Okay.
So
I know he was tough, boy. He was probably tough as that.
I was young. He
Yeah.
was cussing me out, and not the bad way. Why you doing this, boy? Why you doing this? But having that person that's probably the reason why I go so hard. He had a full garden from a wheelchair.
Wow.
So, like when people say, "Oh, you do all of this, you go so hard," I'm not even a piece of how hard he used to go.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I did have him.
Yeah.
But it's just I even remember going through school looking for father figures at school.
Yeah.
I had when I made it to middle school, we had a teacher named Mr. Jackson. If you out there, Mr. Jackson. But he was smooth, black guy, younger. Everybody thought he was cool. You need those, and
those, man.
It's important, and I know we stopped on this spot for a reason. It's important for our young black men to have those type of figures that don't have their pants to the ground.
Yes.
Don't have a mouthful of gold teeth.
Right.
That
that's real. That's so real, man. Because like as you say that, you make me think about my Uncle Peanut, my Uncle Raymond. You know what I'm saying? Me watching them. These are my aunt's husbands. Been me watching them through the years and watching them be there and watching my Uncle Peanut specifically, man. He would fix cars like day and night, just all day, and just watching him. I didn't realize until I got older, like how much I learned from him about life. My Uncle Raymond, how much I learned from him about life, man. And just to be able to be in a position now to look back and I see the men, like the pastors at church, the deacons, like people I would literally pull from. They didn't even know I was pulling from them. You know what I'm saying? And just even now with where I am as a man, it's so important, bro. And like I told you, how we started this conversation off, man, the importance of that piece. So the communication thing, even how you. So let me ask you this: how do you communicate with your son and daughter as far as your emotions? Do they get to see like dad be emotional? Do they get to see dad expressive, or do you always just have like a stoic personality with them?
We're in a different time of parenthood, so
absolutely. No, you're right. You're right.
I'm gonna explain how my wife sees me, because I don't want to explain how I see myself. So I'm super patient. With them.
Okay. How so?
And I talk through stuff with them. Yeah. If they make mistakes, I talk through it with them. Now, I'm not the yelling. First of all, my mom never cussed us. Yeah, so I'm not that.
Yeah.
And I don't really respect people that do that.
Nah.
Of course, we ain't beat nobody no more.
We're not.
So I become super patient, and I like to ask why. Why did you do this?
Yeah.
Why is this happening like this? And just talking through it. But like I said, my children, they love me, but it has to be a fine line. And I have a 5-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter. There has to be a fine line, even as they get older, where I'm not your best friend.
Yeah. Real talk.
And they still got to grow up into the teens. My daughter starting to get there now at 10, but I'm going to make sure that I reiterate, I'm still your dad. I love you.
Yeah.
I'm a joke, be goofy with you. You can tell me anything, but there has to be a fine line drawn.
Absolutely.
You can't cuss around me.
Absolutely. You ain't doing that. It's just not doing
it. It has to be respect.
Yeah. But bro, I'm gonna tell you, now today, the parenting today, like we could be at the shop. It could be all the guys at the shop, right? And a guy bring his son, a little boy, probably about 4 or 5 years old, and we've seen it on multiple occasions, bro. How the boy, he'll lay on the floor, he will kick, he will holler, he will scream, and we literally watch the dad just sit there and like, you can see the embarrassment on his face because it's like he don't know what to do. And so our joke will say, "Boy, get up off that floor, man. Get up," and he'll stop for a second, look at me, and then the dad might say, "Come here, man. Come here." Or Law will be like, "Man, boy, get up off that floor." But it's like a lot of parents today, bro, they just, I don't know, they just.
But I think you just explained it though. It takes a community.
Yes.
We have to get back to that community, and we can't, if you say something to my child, I gotta respect you for that. We can't get,
100.
we want to fight. Oh,
yeah.
You can't say nothing to my boy.
Wow. Yeah.
So we have to get back to that, and you explained it.
That's real.
It takes a community.
It takes a community. It takes
especially
a community,
for these young black men.
Yes.
It
takes a community, man. And I promise you, like literally the other day, man, after we finished at the shop with Helping Inspire Me, and shout out to Helping Inspire Me, and bro, I literally drove from Forest Hill, Irene, and 385 all the way to Swanee Road in Boxtown, dropping little boys off at the house, man. We do something when I take them home called Pass the Ox. So I just pass the ox, and everybody put on the song that they want to listen to it, bro. Like, but and I let them do that because I like to see where they are, man. But recognizing the need and just the importance of just being a cornerstone in a space where they can communicate. Because like you said, these kids today, it's a different breed. And one thing I recognize, bro, is they are much more emotionally available than we were. Mm-hmm. They're much more emotionally available.
That mean they're easy to influence.
Yes, they're easy to influence, bro. So they watching everything. Mm-hmm. They watching everything. But yeah, I know we didn't got all out, but not all out, but all on, man. Because I just wanted to have a conversation with you, bro. And switching gears just a little bit before we wrap, bro. Do you feel seen by the community? I know that was a hard turn to the right?
Do I feel seen? I'm blessed. Like I said, I'm self-taught, DJing, producing, cooking. Everything that I do, I can cook better than anything else that I do. But yeah, God has been good. I pray for a lot with DJing, I pray for a lot of shows and events, and I've been on some pretty big shows and events and corporate gigs, and I can't get that without being seen.
Yeah.
Especially, and I didn't even notice, like my mom said, it's amazing what you're doing and you self-taught.
I know it, bro. I know it.
Nobody ever showed you how to do that? She said, that's amazing. And it took her to say that for me to be like, oh, that is pretty cool. And I do think it's important to learn how to celebrate your small wins.
Yes, bro.
Because we get so big and chasing, oh, I want to be the DJ Khaled. I want to be like Lil Jon. I want to be like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
With what we do, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
You might set I want to be like him. But I had to learn how to be the DJ Woods.
Yeah.
The Xavier Woods, the Jay Woods, the Jamie Woods. I got like 15 million different names, but I had to learn how to be the best version of me.
Yes.
Once you learn that, you always gonna be seen.
Yes.
I'm not worried about what the other person's saying about me, what this person's saying. Once you come into who you actually are and just living your purpose
Yes, bro.
You always gonna be seen.
Yes, and I concur with you with that because I know a lot of guys, you know, they'll never admit it, but I ask that question and they don't. I've asked guys throughout their life in our community, do you feel most celebrated, most accepted, or most tolerated? You'd be amazed at how many black men say tolerated and how many say accepted. Now, I've asked that question to the scope of black men. Most time when they say a black man say celebrated, they're well off financially. They're like a pastor or something like that, or a CEO. But most people say accepted or tolerated on the low end, man. But that's interesting, man.
I think, but you gotta think, we monetize a lot.
Yes.
As a black man, so
yes,
I've had money. I don't have all the money, but I've had enough money to be able to do what I wanted to do for a long time, where I'm not focused on money.
Yeah.
I know money is a piece of paper. I'm more focused on the balance and the showing up and
yes,
being there and loving life and loving on who I love.
yes.
And the money will come.
It'll come, man.
If you focusing on loving, first of all, you gotta learn how to love yourself.
First.
You can't love nobody before you love yourself.
Yes.
Once you do that and focus on loving what you got around you,
yes,
the money gonna come.
I got a saying, bro, that I live by now. Life is about moments and memories, bro. I promise to God, bro. You may never have all the money in the world. You may never get to the point to where you can say you're wealthy. You may never get to the point to where you're not living check to check, but it's about creating moments and memories. We can talk about something that happened. You can ask me what happened in 2012, and I can probably remember a moment. I could probably remember a memory. And so that's what life is about. And just to concur with you, bro, like to see myself in a space where I'm enjoying like life, I'm happy, I'm traveling. Like now I live a life enough. Now I have 2 vehicles. They're not brand new vehicles, but I got 2 cars because I love cars. But I have my budget set to where I know I can travel when I want to, man. You know, I don't have to have the newest of everything, man, but I want to be able to live a life to where I'm not having to stand behind that barber chair and slave.
That makes sense.
Forever, bro. I like, no, man. I don't want to live a life to where I'm living for my bills and I gotta be standing behind that chair 12 hours a day, every day. No, not knocking anybody who do that, because I used to do that. I really used to do that, you know, but now I don't do that anymore, man, because I just believe, man, I miss so much. To your point, I miss so much life, and I used to always vicariously live through y'all stories when y'all travel, when y'all go places, and it's like, bro, wait a minute, bro, what you doing, bro? So yeah, that's my thing.
I had a guy that I work with. He made president's cabinet. That's top 5% of the company 9 times in a row.
Wow.
When he did it, I had to watch and see what he was doing. He worked every single day of the year.
Wow, every day? Every day?
But maybe 2 days a month.
Wow. God.
And he was at the store one day and he was almost in tears. His daughter had turned 15 and he didn't remember seeing his daughter grow up.
Wow.
So
wow.
I'm a big person that learning from other people too.
Yeah.
So I knew I didn't want to be that. I know I only want to give myself a certain amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because something like that,
man,
you can't get that back. So
can't get it back.
Moments, memories,
bro,
and time.
Yes.
You cannot get that back. So you always have to be cognizant of that.
Man, bro. and bro, just and to your point, bro, black men, like it's such an expectation on how we gotta show up. on what we gotta do. And to your point, bro, money is such a driving force, man.
I'm gonna go back to that example.
Okay.
You gotta think, he was successful, top 5 in the company, going to Hawaii, Switzerland on the company, taking $25,000 trips for free on the company. He had the nicest of cars. He was celebrated.
Wow.
But inside,
man, God.
and I think a lot of celebrities do it.
Yeah.
They get into a whole lot of money, and they make it all the way to the top and be empty,
Man.
because they're not making any moments and memories, and they're not. First of all, they're not in love with who they are,
Yeah.
and they're turning into something that they're not.
Yeah.
Even if it does come with money, they're still empty. So it's important to know who you are
Yeah.
inside.
Real talk.
What runs? What makes you run?
Real talk.
What's the core? What triggers you?
And if you lose that though, man, like you'll be putting on a mask every time you go around the crowd.
If you lose it, find it.
Gotta find it. You have to find it.
it.
You have to find it, man. The day is over for us as black men to just be doing shit. Just because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bro, no, you gotta find that essence of you. You gotta find that essence of your manhood. Find the essence of what makes you you.
Your purpose.
Your purpose. And that's your purpose. That's that drive, man. And I'm not gonna lie, transparently, bro. Like, you know, I'm in relationship with a lot of brothers, man. I have a lot of clients. I have a lot of guys that I interact with, man. And just I know it's only certain ones that got a drive. You know what I'm saying? That it's one of the last things you think about before you go to sleep, and the first thing you think about when you get up in the morning, man. They got that drive. You want to get up and do something towards your purpose and your why, bro. And you have to protect that. You gotta protect that, man. And bro, before you go, man, I want to ask a question, man. I asked this question to everybody, man. If there was one thing you could do to bridge humans better, if it was one thing you could do because we got different sectors of our community. There's a lot of different sectors of our community. If it was one thing you could do to bridge humans better, what would that thing be?
And prejudice and racism.
Wow.
We stronger together.
Yes.
And as long as we allow other races to be divided and tear us apart, we will never be as strong as we can be.
No.
And I'm even coming from the religion standpoint. If all of that could be together, we get peace.
Yes.
And just have the understanding. Come together, celebrate together.
Yes, man.
And communities, like you have Middle Eastern communities that they only shop within their community. They only help each other.
Yeah.
If we had other people helping us like that, showing us the way, we can go further. So that'll fix a lot.
Wow.
Just with that. And even with and I'm not political, even with the election coming up.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of race and divide.
It is. Man, today at the shop, bro, the conversation almost got really heated with that. And but I'm gonna tell you, speaking of what you just said, bro, I think two major systems is going to take a major hit if they don't adjust. And that's our religious system and our political system. I think those two systems, and it's just my opinion, don't y'all shoot me for this.
Right.
I think those two systems have a love affair with the past that's dating even more. Like it's getting so dated, and the way things used to be is shifting. And I think our religious system and our political system, those two systems, if they don't adjust, more and more people are not going to be involved. More and more people are not going to want to have anything to do with those systems. And to your point, if just those two alone would adjust and not be so polarizing to somebody who don't live like you, or not be so polarizing to somebody who don't believe politically like you. Bro, that was so much.
Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit, man. Sky's the limit, man. And you know, we could talk on and on, man, but I tell most of my pastor clients, they come and sit in my chair on a weekly basis. I love my pastor clients, got a lot of respect for them, and I tell most of them, I said, man, people will tell me what they would never tell you. And I asked them, how is it that, and this is a conversation for another day, but I asked them, how is it we can adjust the space to where people will feel comfortable with being real with you? Because at the end of the day, we all wash our face, wipe our ass the same way, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I actually want to hear that. So
yeah,
you
bro.
gotta find the person to bring on.
No, I got one coming up real soon, man. You know,
so that's gonna be the clip.
Yeah, real talk. And I asked him that, bro, cause like people come down and people sit in their chair, bro, and they gonna communicate. And so when they get in front of him, I'm gonna show you my best, because that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you that I ain't living bad as you think I'm living. Or I ain't gonna show you, you know, the real me. I'm gonna give you like, oh yeah, man, you know, I went to church, but bro.
Well, I think it's a stigma on us to not realize that pastors sin too.
Yes. Oh yes.
We all sin.
Yes.
And sinning is a part of life.
Part of life. It's a part of life. It's a part of life.
And once you realize that, you can take your religion up to the next level too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. I heard something this morning, bro, that messed me up. I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts. It's Jay Sheedy, man. I follow Jay Sheedy religiously. I was listening to him, and he's not Christian, but he said he was listening to a Christian philosopher the other day. And we are in on this, but he said the essence of Christianity is not to see how hard you can love Jesus. It's to see how hard you can love Judas. That messed me up when you think about that. Like, we love Jesus. We are in love with Jesus. We've been taught our life to fall in love with Jesus. But the way Jesus was, Jesus dealt with Judas all the time. And what we do with Judas, we're going to talk about him. We're going to laugh at him. We're not going to really give him a lot of attention. We're going to kind of put him down if he's not living like us. But how do we love like Christ and we don't love?
It makes sense.
I was like, God, nah, that messed me up, man. But anyway, bro, thank you so much, man, for this conversation, man. I've done several conversations now, man, and I promise you this one is one for the books, man, because like I just feel like we just caught up. We just got caught up, man. And I'm so happy, and I want you to know, I want to tell you publicly, bro, I love you, I support you, man, and I got the highest admiration for who you are as a man, who you are as a father, a husband, and just all around entrepreneur, man. We doing this and we doing it well. So brothers, listen, y'all, if y'all need some DJ services, this is my guy right here. You need a cell phone, this is my guy. But I appreciate it. Just shout the social media out before we go, man.
DJ J Woods on all platforms. So DJ JAYWOODS, Apple Music, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, everything.
Yes. Man, I appreciate you, brother. Yes, man. Y'all, another episode of Ray Bridging Humans, man. Leave the people with something real quick before we go, man. Just leave them with a word. If you got a word, just leave them with it, man.
Whole lot of movie going on.
Whole lot of movie going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is Ray Bridging Humans, a place where the people get to hear you and the world get to see it. Love you, family. Peace.